Hello and welcome to Living the DreamWorks, where we peak too soon. And that's your cold opening.
That's it? That is not it. This is the Shrek 2 episode. We gotta have a good cold opening where it's like, it grabs their attention. They have I Need a Hero. This cold opening needs standards.
That cold opening needs a union.
That cold opening doesn't even have dental.
Doesn't even have dental.
Yeah, that's what I was
Doesn't
going
even
to say.
have dentals. And now it's the song.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Living the DreamWorks, episode 8. Oh my god. Today we're going to be talking about Shrek 2, the sequel.
I am the Watch.
I'm Random Bystander here.
I am Claire.
And I'm Gianna Luna. I'm back.
Yay!
This is also the sequel to me being on this series.
Yeah, exactly.
It was cool.
I guess you could say when we were thinking about having Gianna on for the podcast, we accidentally fell in love.
Aww.
Aw. Well, you're all the heroes I've been holding out for.
How am I going to say something that nice and then you immediately one-up me?
Oh,
Hey,
no! Not the intention.
Yeah, of course.
I'm desperately trying to think of something with the song title, but it's not working.
Oh,
I guess you could say, for some ideas, you need to go to Funky Town.
Yes.
oh my god.
Changes. I don't know.
Changes.
That joke needed some changes.
There we go. All right.
Oh,
Okay.
you're so trill.
Yes. On that note, we are talking about Shrek 2, and a lot of us have history with this film.
Oh,
And
yeah.
a lot of us, honestly, before we even watched it, we were all excited to talk about it.
I think I'm the only one who's seen this movie within the last 5 years. I could be wrong about that. I know Gianna hadn't seen it in a while. I know that
Mm-mm.
much.
Yeah,
I don't
haven't.
remember about Random and Watch.
Hold on a second. I need to look up when a certain video on YouTube was made. Okay. 4 years ago it was uploaded. So, yes, technically.
Oh, okay. So it's actually been pretty recent for you. Okay.
Not much before then, but like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know that I saw this within the last 5 years, but I had that sudden sensation when I started watching. It was like, oh my god, this feels like a song. This feels like I know every line, I know every beat, I know all the comedic timing of it. Holy shit, this feels way too. Okay, I'll start with my history then. This was the very first film that I saw multiple times in the theaters. That was not planned at all. It was just that I went to go see it with my parents, and then like I was in a summer camp, and one of the days we went out to the movie theater and we watched Shrek 2. So I got to watch Shrek 2 and like, man, what a fucking year 2004 was for movies. Because later that year we got the SpongeBob movie, like we had like Spider-Man 2, we had Shark Tale,
Which we'll talk about later. And Gianna will be spared.
The Incredibles was 2004 as well, right?
and Incredibles was
Wow.
2004 as well. There was just like a loaded year in movies. I definitely remember that like once this like landed on DVD, which by the way, like the DVD for Shrek 2 is like one of the greatest of all time. Like it's got everything. But like I watched this movie so many times as a little kid, and I haven't seen it in a while. But like I said, like when I started watching it, it's just like, oh, I know this movie. I had that feeling. It's like I could like say along with them, did he? Yup, he croaked.
But there's a lot of the jokes we just like, yeah. I laughed at that
There's
one.
so many fucking jokes in this movie. I went way overboard on my nose because I was trying to like list all of my favorite jokes, and I ended up just listing all the jokes.
That's Shrek 2, yep.
That's at least as far as I could say for my. Oh, this is. I'll say this now just because it has nothing to do with anything. One day, I wanted to get a Shrek 2 wallpaper for my desktop computer, and I found this website and I downloaded it and ended up having a virus that destroyed
no.
Yeah,
it
that's the early
destroyed my
2000s.
Yeah.
computer. And I
Oh.
lost everything. And I didn't even get the Shrek 2 wallpaper because it was just solid color.
Oh God,
Oh,
that
no.
wall-
I hate to say it, but for your hard drive, at that point, it was all ogre now.
I was gonna say that wallpaper had a little drop of poison.
I just wanted Puss in Boots.
Oh.
That's my history. Shrek 2 ruined my life.
So, so Wash, I didn't know that was your origin story of how you saw Shrek 2, because Shrek 2 was also the first movie I ever saw in theaters multiple times.
Oh.
The first time I saw with my parents, and the second time was on a camping trip when I went to a summer camp.
Wait, what?
Where
Wow.
we saw the movie. So
Random.
either it was a
Random.
very common thing to do, or you might have been in the same summer camp. You didn't
Random.
know.
Or you're just the same person, which we've been theorizing for years.
Hold on. This is not going to be, and I'm not going to have this in the edit. Random, was this at camp?
Yes!
Oh my god,
Wait a
we were
minute.
in the same
I went to
camp.
camp and I didn't see that movie.
What?
My model's freaking out just as much as I am.
Yes! I wasn't sure if it was that camp or another camp, but I know it was a shitty camp.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And like that was the only good thing about it, that I saw Shrek 2 in the
Oh
theater.
my god.
So yeah, we went to the same camp without knowing.
Oh
That's
my
amazing.
god. We were in the same room together and we didn't know the life we would have.
Little did they know these two would become podcasters.
Right, like the narrator.
Scrolling text, yeah.
It's like zooms in on us and it's like, this one will be really annoying with their jokes.
And this one will be bald.
Oh, burn!
Well, really?
But yeah, that was my those were my first time seeing. I really liked it. It was good. I didn't get to meet Watch, unfortunately, but it was still a good time. And I also own the DVD. I watched it a lot. I put it on a lot. And then I just stopped, and then I put it away for a while, didn't watch it for a while. And then I found a YouTuber named Shafrillis who made a video called Why Shrek 2 is the Perfect Sequel. And I watched it. And the last time, but I remember watching Shrek 2 before this, I went over Watch's house and brought the DVD. I was like, can we watch Shrek 2? And I'm pretty sure that video is the reason why.
Oh. Like, there's a decent chance then that, if you ask me about it, then there's a decent chance I watched it as well. I just don't remember that at all.
I remember it because I really wanted to watch Shrek 2. And you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
No, that definitely sounds right. So, Shrek 1 was basically, I watched it as a kid and I really liked it, and then I grew up and I was like, Shrek is DreamWorks. DreamWorks sucks. And then I grew up and I was like, Shrek is DreamWorks. DreamWorks is great. No. But then I grew up and I realized that the movie was so much more. Shrek 2 never had that. Saw it as a kid. I loved it. Grew up. Loved it. Am here now. Loved it. There is never a point in my life. Maybe today. We'll see. But ignoring this most recent viewing, there is never a point in my life where I did anything less than, like, absolutely adore Shrek 2. And the last time that I had seen it prior to today was, I don't remember when in 2021. I was trying to remember, and I found a document on my laptop that was called Shrek 2, and I opened it up, and it just said 2021. I don't know why I put it there, but I'm assuming that's the last time I saw it.
It's like ominous.
Yeah, I know. I know. If you watch Shrek 2 again, it will be 2021.
I have so many questions about what that could be, but you don't know either. So.
I know.
Well, now that's 2023. You got to change it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So then when I watch this in another 2 years, I'll be like, why did I just do 2023? I think I would have learned from last time.
Yeah. So I wish I had an interesting story, like seeing it at summer camp or something. But unfortunately, yeah, I probably saw Shrek 2 as a kid at some point, but I have no recollection of watching it as a child. But I do remember throwing it on one night when ABC Family used to be called ABC Family, and they would do like random movie marathon nights or something. I think they probably did like Shrek 1 and 2 or something, or they just tossed Shrek 2 on one night. And I remember like watching it in high school and being like, oh, so this is Shrek 2. This is good, pretty good. And then I never watched it till now.
I like the idea of ABC Family showing Shrek 2, the movie that like hates Disney princesses so much. Especially, I did not realize this until this time around. There were so many references to Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's like dozens.
When there's that little like snot of the happily ever after potion on the mushroom that turns into a rose, and like I think that rose is like a carbon copy of the random, what is it called?
The rose.
Yeah, it's just
Is it called a rose?
It's just the rose.
The enchanted rose.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I
enchanted rose. Okay, there we go. I figured that I would have figured that like Disney would have given them like the rose of eternity.
It's an enchanted rose.
Enchanted rose. Okay.
That's maybe the live action remake calls it something different, but I don't even talk about that.
No, it's just the rose.
All right.
Okay.
It's just a rose is a rose. I'm like, his kingdom for a rose. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of references to Beauty and the Beast. Like from the I would say like from the, especially with the fairy godmother. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
there are even more references to the plot synopsis. Who would like to do the plot synopsis? And by that, I mean...
I wrote one.
Yeah!
Yeah. I wrote one like directly after I finished. Like the movie ended and I just started typing.
Yeah.
So here's
Do it.
hoping I did a good job. It might be a little wordy, but hey, I had fun writing it. Shrek and Fiona are summoned to far, far away for a ball her parents are throwing in honor of their daughter's marriage. Shrek is extremely hesitant, expecting the response to her marrying an ogre to be negative. Despite his worries, they make the journey there, and he is proven right. He and Fiona bicker over him wanting to return to the swamp and not trying to be a part of her family or get her father's blessing on their union. Fiona's father, the king, pretends to extend an olive branch to Shrek by inviting him hunting, only for it to be a trap so that his hitman, Puss in Boots, can take him out. Puss in Boots fails in this attack and ends up joining forces with Shrek and Donkey, who raid the fairy godmother's potion stores for something that will make Shrek more handsome. He steals a happily ever after potion, which turns him and Fiona into humans. They must share a kiss before midnight so that they can remain this way. When the fairy godmother discovers that Shrek has stolen this potion, she uses it to her advantage to try and get her son, Prince Charming, on the throne. He pretends to be human Shrek, but Fiona isn't buying it. The king, who was working alongside the fairy godmother thus far, doesn't want to anymore. He refuses to slip her a love potion to make her fall for Charming right before the ball, unbeknownst to the fairy godmother. Shrek and friends crash the ball with the help of the Muffin Man, who created a giant gingerbread monster to bring the moat down. At last, Shrek reunites with Fiona. The fairy godmother tries to get her revenge on Shrek by firing a spell at him, but the king jumps in front of him, taking the blast himself. The armor he was wearing reflects the magic back at the fairy godmother, who explodes into teardrops and bubble. The king isn't unscathed, however. He's turned into his previous form, a frog, but his wife accepts him immediately.
Oh.
Shrek tells Fiona, I know, oh. Shrek tells Fiona that if she kisses him before midnight passes, they can remain human. Fiona refuses, saying she wants to live happily ever after with the ogre she married. After the credits roll, we see Donkey lovingly reunited with Dragon, who surprises him with a litter of donkey-dragon hybrid babies. The end.
That's the most important part of the movie.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We all gotta love the dronkies. They're great.
The dronkies.
Oh my god.
That's the
I think that's the canonical. Yeah, I think that's the canonical
Dronkies.
term.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
Yes, and thank you for that plot synopsis. It's
Very good.
better than anything we've ever done for
Oh,
our
thank you.
Oh, yeah, our plot synopsis is there. They exist.
They exist.
They
Okay.
exist.
All right. Normally, I try to be like, oh yeah. So what do we want to start with? I have to be the one, especially just because we're on episode 8. So prior to this movie, we have watched Ants, Prince of Egypt, El Dorado, Chicken Run, Spirit, Sinbad, and of course, Shrek. That's 7 movies right there, which not all of them were complete, black holes of humor, but none of them were specifically what I would call funny movies. Shrek 2.
Shrek 2 is hilarious.
This might be... I don't know. I'd really have to... It's like, there's only one other movie that comes to mind that I think is, like, funnier, but this is absolutely, to me, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I talk about Toy Story 2 a lot. That was, like, the most boring movie I've ever seen in comparison to Shrek 2.
I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah, honestly,
Well,
there's Shrek. Say what you want, whether you like Shrek 1 or Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is the funnier movie. I'm sorry.
I think I talked about this in the Shrek 1 discussion that, like, as a kid, when I saw this, I was immediately like, oh, this is way better than Shrek. And yeah, it still is. It still is way better than Shrek.
I don't think Shrek 1's unfunny, but Shrek 2 is very funny.
Yeah. I think Shrek is a relative... It's funny enough. I think El Dorado should have been funnier. But I know you didn't watch, like, Sinbad, for example. You didn't watch that with us. That was, like, a black hole of humor.
And so from going to that to this was like...
Yeah. Actually getting a movie that's, like, not only funny, but also by complete circumstance, one of the funniest ever.
Like Shrek 1, I was very impressed with, like, characters. Like, that was where, like, the comedy's shown the most.
Yeah.
This kind of had everything. Like, you had character humor. You had like all those references and like satirical bits. You had like the saucier jokes. You had visual gags that you're only like that you have to like really pay attention to. Like there's one bit I didn't catch it, but I remember spotting this like in an earlier watch. Like there's one point where like in the background there's a guy climbing a ladder to like nowhere, and then he just falls off the ladder.
That's amazing. I missed that.
It's just there's just like a bajillion jokes that they just have like sprinkled all over the damn thing. Like I like this one I did catch was when Mongo, great beloved Mongo, when Mongo he grabbed the giant Farbucks coffee cup. Hilarious gag, of course. He drops it, and this is only something that you have. It's like a split second that he drops it right onto a litter can that says "Please put away your litter," and just touches the whole can.
I thought you were gonna say the point where he like grabs and everyone goes from one Farbucks to another, but that's a much better find.
The thing. Like that's definitely the funnier joke. The reason why there being a Farbucks across the street from the other, it hits harder because like it's too real.
Yeah.
And this movie came out in 2004.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, was this a problem in 2004, or are they just like The Simpsons?
Right. I actually wrote down some of the names of the shops in Far, Far Away because
okay, so
I was
like,
looking like a hawk at them. They were so funny.
Yeah, this one, it's like, it's funny, but you think about it for 5 seconds and you're like, how is Shrek 2 like The first movie to do this. Why is it so good? The poison apple.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what a good idea. I laughed when I saw it. I'm like, oh, that's a good joke. And then I'm like, what else would it be called?
When the fairy godmother is chasing Shrek and Donkey and Puss in Boots out of the poison apple, like right before like they run away, you see like two cops like surrounding a headless horseman having to do a sobriety test.
Yes!
What's on the head?
Yes, I saw that!
They like touch his nose when it's not there.
Oh my
There's,
god.
like, a bajillion jokes. There's so many fucking jokes in
And like,
here.
okay, if this was just like one of the funniest movies ever made, that would still be like enough, but it's so much more than that too.
This movie has heart. It
So
really
much.
does.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say straight up, this is probably like the tightest screenplay we've watched so far for this series.
That really compare our Shrek 1 and Prince of Egypt. And Prince of Egypt
Yeah.
has the problem of whatever that one really bad song was, and some just general problems with like being a little too goofy sometimes. And Shrek 1 was very tight, but misunderstanding, I'm never gonna get over that. But like,
Well, there is something in Shrek 2 that kind of gets me the way the misunderstanding got you guys, and I'm afraid of bringing it up
no,
later.
I mean, no, I'm very interested. Okay. Is it something to bring up like towards the end, or is it something we could bring up now?
It depends. Do you want to get into it? We can get into it.
I'm fine with that.
Let's do it.
So, there's that moment where Shrek is looking through the window and he sees Fiona talking to Charming, and he's like, Fiona, I'm over here. And he's like pounding on the window, and the fairy godmother is like telling him, talking down to him and saying that, she'll be with Charming, blah, blah, blah. And she traps him in the room, and then I guess he agrees to whatever, and she just lets him go, and he just accepts this fate and walks out of the castle. And I feel like it's hard for me to believe that Shrek would really do that and not try to go to Fiona at all. I feel like he's more stubborn than that he would like go to her and be like, no, this is me. Like, hi, it's Shrek. And like give her the ability to choose than just like walk out pouting.
I definitely had that same confusion when when all of a sudden he says when he's at the poison apple later, he says that's why I have to let her go. And like that for years that always rang false. This time around, it probably was something that needed to be a little maybe more expanded upon. I'd say this is the tightest script. That doesn't mean it's a tight script.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like the best screenplay that we've had so far. Like it's a really, really solid story.
Yeah.
But I think like that, because like all that was going back to one of the fears that they introduced when he's like staying awake, and they have the eel song. I need some sleep.
We all need some sleep today.
He finds Fiona's diary. And she's seeing like Mrs. Fiona Simon, and she's just having this like, oh my god, is this not what she wants? Like, does she want the Prince Charming? And seeing it in front of him it felt so much like his fears are confirmed right in front of him. I think that's what it was like what all of that is leading back to. I definitely think that that could have been expanded upon more, because like definitely like when we get to that point, it's like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Like,
Yeah, that's definitely what I was feeling. I'm like, wait, he just walked out of that castle. He was just like letting this happen. Yeah.
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Well, first of all, I think that's a perfectly valid point. I see like I see my thing, and maybe it's just because I've seen this movie so many times. But I think the big emotional core of Shrek 2 is that in the ending to Shrek 1, Shrek had found his happiness. He had found Fiona, and he found Fiona. He found Donkey. That was the core of Shrek 1, and the core of Shrek 2 is that, okay, Shrek found his happiness through other people, but what about his own internal happiness? That's why there's so much about how other people interpret Shrek in this movie. Like, the first movie, it's kind of like played for jokes, and it isn't until Donkey kind of gets it out of him. But a lot of what Shrek deals with in the first movie is Fiona and Donkey. in this movie, not only does he still have to deal with the masses, but he specifically has to deal with Fairy Godmother. He has to deal with King Harold. Even at first, the mother to an extent. As the movie goes on, it gets better. But even at the start, she's like, "Who's that?" And it's not like he's at his swamp where he can just close the door and go home. He's at this castle where everybody's looking at him. And throughout the movie, he's just getting so beaten up in terms of people saying these things about him, like, "Oh, okay, like, you found your happiness with Fiona, okay, but you're still an ugly ogre who doesn't get a happy ending. Like, what's changed? You just found Fiona, like, big deal. She deserves better. She deserves Prince Charming. Like, what does it still say about you?" So when he sees Fiona and he sees that she was lost and the fairy godmother is basically manipulating him into thinking that he doesn't deserve her, which kind of has been happening subliminally throughout the movie, but really comes to, like, a peak there, I more so saw it as, Shrek never got over himself. He got over his inability to bond with other people. He opened up, but that didn't mean he got over himself. That's why I think Shrek 2 is such a fascinating movie emotionally for Shrek.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, that's my take. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still one scene with the fairy godmother that they talk together. Like, that's the problem. That's definitely the problem. I think it works, but I see what you mean, definitely.
You could argue that it is kind of, they do have one other scene together before that where she's like, where he does go to her and he's like, "What can we do?" And she's like, "Oh, here, let's read some books, shall we?" And he's like, "This book, no ogres. This book, no ogres. Ogres don't live happily ever after." And so that kind of like starts getting in that direction with them. And then it really hits home with the scene in the tower where he's like, where she outright manipulates him and plays on his insecurities because she's done this before. She knows.
Yeah.
She knows how this works.
Oh yeah. I mean, her whole job's emotions.
Yeah,
so.
literally.
I would even argue that this was kind of set up because, like, the constant thing that's being said is happily ever after. Like, the potion itself is a happily ever after. That this is the perfect ending for them. This should be what they want. And I would say that is set up even earlier with just the introduction to the family.
Yes.
Like you when they walk up and you see I would call him like the king, but he's just John Cleese to me. When they walk up to John Cleese, like he just has like this, Julie Andrews. It's like a little pain, but like just trying to be accepting. And the father is just disgusted. He's just looking like angry. He's looking like so pissed, and that's before they even like have dinner. When he's staring at him like a hawk. Jesus Christ. And of course it gets worse and worse. And they have all the insecurities come out from there. Daycare or dragon guarded castle.
Oh, swamp. That's a fine place to raise the children.
Literally the most awkward dinner of the century.
Oh my god, I love that.
But also one of the best scenes of the movie.
You bring up that quote, but I love Shrek owns property.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the swamp, are you?
I like okay with the swamp. Oh, how original. But I like the they're having this like confrontational like talk with each other, and Donkey's like, "I'm gonna get going.
Dinner.
Never mind, I can hold it."
It's so nice to have the family together for dinner again.
He looks like he's gonna cry.
Yeah. And even like, I mean, a bunch of the scenes that we talked about already. It's just the dinner scene is the first one where like we really see it first hold, I guess. And another thing that I think really does help in terms of like what Shrek's journey is through this movie, like, and absolutely something that could only happen in a movie that comes after Shrek 1. Pretty much everything that Shrek does in this movie, he does for Fiona, and I think that's a really nice shine of growth from the first movie. Like, even from the very beginning, he clearly doesn't want to go to the castle because he knows that everyone's gonna hate him. They're gonna have the pitchforks and the torches, blah blah blah, but Fiona really wants to go, and he goes. When they have dinner together, he's trying his best to... He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's trying his best to fit the royal dinner table mannerisms and stuff. Again, it doesn't work, but he's trying his best. when Harold goes to him and says, "Oh, I'm sorry about how I acted at the table. Can we, for Fiona, can we try to start from scratch?" And he does it when he thinks, "Oh, well, maybe if Fiona was, conventionally attractive again, she'd be happier." So that's why he gets everything he does is for Fiona, and I think that's really nice.
Not only that, but I especially like I had kind of forgotten that like just how much like the relationship between Shrek and Donkey developed.
Yes.
Like I just like that like right off the bat, like they could have so easily just still been still been like spiteful, but like Shrek is just like I know, I'm sorry, all right, like oh shit,
Yeah.
we're friends. Oh yeah.
Even when they kick Donkey out of the house, like, I mean, even Shrek tries a little while to be, like, reasonable with Donkey, and then he says, "You're bothering me." And it's like, oh, okay. And even when Donkey comes back in, Shrek is like, "You're still here?" It's not like, "Get out of here! Get out of the swamp!" Although, if we're talking about jokes, though, if we're talking about jokes, oh my god, not that. I was thinking of something else. When Donkey is a Donkey, you didn't leave. I know, I'm on my way out, but what do you want me to tell these guys? Which one is actually a good sign of Donkey as well. But more importantly, when they open the doors and the trumpets player goes off, all the thing of trumpets, and then the one just starts like going off playing the trumpet. The guy walks up to him, smacks him, and goes, "That's enough, Reggie."
That sent me. That was so funny.
Yes.
He was really going for it. God bless him. Like
He just went off.
Yep, and all it took was Hawaii 5-0.
He just never gets a chance to do that. That's all.
He just wants to riff. That's all.
He just wants to go.
he should join a jazz band.
Yeah, his talents would be put to better use there.
It would have been great. He would have been great with at the end with Living La Vida Loca.
Oh, that actually would have been really good.
Yeah.
I do think that like perhaps the structure of this meant that like for much of the middle and much of the end, Fiona's role in this was kind of muted, especially compared to the first film.
I definitely agree.
She seems
Yeah,
she seems a little less involved, unfortunately. Partly because like this is about her, this is for her, but like you don't get as much on her. Although we do get to see like how this is affecting her because she just wants so badly for not only to like Shrek to accept the family, but for the family to accept Shrek. And it's just not working. It's just not working out well. They're just not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree that she's more muted. In general, I think I prefer her in Shrek 1, but it's not. It's Shrek 1 did it better. Not Shrek 2 did it poorly. That's because I mean Shrek 1 definitely got better. You're not going to get that argument. But I liked her a lot in this movie still, even if she wasn't necessarily herself. I don't know what she's important to the plot, but you know what I mean. Like the character doesn't contribute much to the plot. I guess.
She's more of a static character in this one.
I still feel like she had agency, and that was what was important to me.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like it could have so easily like having that like ripped away at the ending, but like she knows immediately that something's wrong, and even gets to do a headbutt.
Yeah,
in defiance.
Yeah, that was good to see.
Yeah,
like she's still very much herself. She just wasn't like she was still standing up for herself. She wasn't taking any bullshit.
Exactly.
So it was just that she was less of an active role in the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she still gotta love her.
She was not gonna let take any shit from Ariel. That was for sure.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was so
not
funny.
even like just like a generic moment. That is a redhead.
That is Ariel.
Oh yeah.
That is
that she threw into the shark.
Hey guys, I don't know if you knew this, but did you know Jeffrey Katzenberg hates Disney?
What?
What a twist!
What?
But okay.
Because remember, like The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast were both movies that he like helped to create.
You know what? It felt like, you know why there's so many references to Beauty and the Beast? It was Jeffrey Katzenberg going, "Hey, your film didn't win an Oscar. Mine did."
Oh my god.
Take that. I'm going to go make Quibi now.
forgot about Quibi again.
Everybody did.
Like I obviously there's just so many jokes. There's so many great jokes in that. Like the intro, the honeymoon.
Yeah.
There are just so many great jokes in that, but it's also just so like through the like Lord of the Rings references that random now gets because he recently saw Lord of the Rings.
I saw the first one.
Yes,
I was like,
but
yeah.
you get that reference now.
I do. I was like, oh, that's what it's
Like the ring just like spelling out "I love you." But
That's great.
through that, it's just so sweet. They're farting together. They're so
Yes.
sweet.
They run through a field of sunflowers being chased by the villagers.
It's amazing.
Seeing the pitchforks, oh my god, I was laughing
Or
so hard.
like they have like the Spider-Man reference when like
The
Shrek
Spider-Man
upside
kiss.
down and
Yeah.
wiped away yeah.
The only thing about the honeymoon is that I do not condone putting fairies into jars for ambiance lighting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's a little.
I'm not really for that.
A little sussy.
Some things haven't aged well about this film. That's one of them, and a comment by the fairy godmother.
Oh.
Yes, I know exactly what comment.
Okay, it's okay. She's the villain. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
she
There's
dies.
also, like
turned
another
tears
thing
and
that's
bubbles.
like maybe like iffy, but like really quick before we leave the honeymoon scene, I cannot believe I never noticed it that they actually like part of their honeymoon was like meeting up on the cliff from Shrek 1, like with the moonlight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When they ate eggs together and when they actually started like falling in love with each other, like oh my god, I never
It's so
caught
precious.
that.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I want a love story like Shrek. God damn it!
Me too. Goals.
Honestly, goals. The like. I know, and obviously they have their fights, which is fine. But the links that Shrek and Fiona, even when they're not around each other, the links that they go for to each other is like it's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sweet. And then, okay, we briefly brought him up, and then we got swept up in how good the movie is. But like, we got to talk about Donkey.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's funny.
He's funny. That's it. I mean, he does a lot more than just be funny. But like, that's the big thing to me.
I thought that he was just gonna be like similar to like Fiona, where there's just not much to him. But I think the introduction of Puss, which we'll get to, I think like that definitely helped to like change the dynamic, and give him something more to work with. Because like you know they're friends, like Shrek and Donkey are clearly friends, and they're clearly like forgiving each other. Because that's what friends do. They forgive each other. But like, goddamn, like Eddie Murphy just thrown in all sorts of jokes. Some jokes that are like really dark.
Yeah.
I think I know one specifically that you're talking, which was one of the funniest jokes of the movie, I thought. But I think I know.
Like, it's a great joke. Just like the tonight at night, and the like Donkey getting like beaten down and just like screaming police brutality. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I think my jaw dropped.
if my jaw didn't drop, it's because it was too busy doing the ha-ha motion.
It's a good joke. It's a great joke, even. But
so many. But that's the thing is that like the speed of it was just so fast. Cause like I think like immediately after it was like Puss gets caught with like catnip.
That's not mine.
That's not mine.
Yeah.
You capitalist pig dog.
Oh god.
Hey, I'm just look. I'm just saying, like, it's dark, it's messed up, it's aged like fine wine.
It's
Oh.
the finest of
Chef's
wine.
kiss.
I didn't realize until like this second that like instead of pepper spray, they used little peppers.
Like a pepper grinder.
Yeah. I caught that. It's so good.
All while being a cops parody joke.
We got a white Bronco! Oh my god, that's an O.J. Simpson reference!
Oh my god!
Now
Joke's on
this joke has layers.
Yeah.
Why is Shrek 2? It's so like, okay, so on this view, I mean, my previous viewing was like right before I started becoming like aware enough of everything to be like, wow, this is aged like the finest of wine. So what I always found funny about this scene prior to this viewing was after Shrek says, I need to talk to my wife, Princess Fiona. Everybody at home goes, quick, rewind it. It's like, how do you rewind it? You're watching it live in 2004.
DVR was made.
We had
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we? I never had DVR until like the 2010s.
Also, it's a magic mirror. It can do whatever the hell it wants.
True. Okay. All right, that's fair. That's fair.
That's a lazy answer, but it's an answer.
No, I mean DVR being available by 2004 is good. That's good enough.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
When they were driving up and they were playing like Funky Town, and like Shrek was looking out and the billboard and sees the sexy fairy godmother that says, "For all your happily ever afters," and he just quietly says, "We're definitely not in the swamp anymore." I didn't realize that until like now as an adult. Like, oh,
again, we're just gonna talk about like dark humor that still works when Shrek is a human and he's in the town and he's looking by a bunch of people. He looks at this one like this trio of people and they've got like the pitchforks and the torches and they look at him and he thinks like they're gonna look at him all like angrily and stuff and then they just wave to him all friendly. It's like, oh god.
I feel like the music has to be so disgusting.
Yeah, but I still want to talk about Donkey. Still talking about Donkey.
Yeah, we're still talking about Donkey. Like, oh my god, when he went psychotic over being a horse.
I mean, he has always been a noble steed,
Yes.
Donkey, you have the right to remain silent. Would you like the capacity?
That I applauded. I don't know why, but I heard that. I just started like applauding the movie. I love that joke so much.
That was a very well written joke for sure.
Oh my god,
Gianna, what's your favorite Donkey line?
My favorite.
Oh, I mean, I hate to say it. Well, I both love and hate to say it, but police brutality. That's got to be mine. That has to be mine.
Oh my god. See, the issue is my nostalgia is all for Shrek 1. So, and I know, but just because I grew up with that one, so it's always going to be in the morning I'm making waffles. So cute.
I would say Donkey has some more quotable one-liners in this than I think Shrek 1. Shrek 1, he does have "I'm making waffles," which is top tier quote. I love that quote.
Yeah.
I quote it all the time whenever I have breakfast. But
I know you would, Mama.
Mother.
Mother. There he is.
No, but if you're not gonna name it, then I'm gonna say, you got a puppy? All I got in my room was shampoo.
Bon appetit. Oh, Mexican food. I also love the idea, and this leads to Puss as well, that like almost he has to compete now for Shrek's like
Yeah,
like the scene before they meet Puss in Boots. He says Shrek and Donkey on another worldwide adventure. So it's like he's setting it up to like, yeah, we're gonna be buddy pals together, and then we got to talk about Puss, but we get to Puss, and now it's like there's a third character here, and Donkey's like jealous and mad, but I also like when Shrek is lamenting about the situation that he's in, and Puss is like, well, I was sent to kill you and everything, and Donkey just gives him like this really angry look, like, not now. Like, I think there's a lot of I mean, I started this by saying, oh, this movie's so funny, and then the whole time I'm just talking about like the emotional maturity of the characters, but like that's what's so good about it. Ugh.
my heart went out to Donkey a lot when he was walking with Shrek, and Shrek's literally like holding Puss in Boots in his arms, and they're like gossiping or like talking, and then they like look back at Donkey like they're talking about him, and like I don't know if you guys have been in that position, but I have been in Donkey's position, and it just like
feels bad.
Zapped back, and I'm like, there is nothing like being intentionally left out, and my heart just broke for him because he's like the most loyal friend that Shrek
easily
ever asked for. Yeah, so poor Donkey.
If we're gonna talk about poor Donkey in a funnier way, Donkey, think of the saddest thing that's ever happened in your life.
Oh man, where do I begin? This started with that. It's just so good.
He goes on that whole ramble. Shrek is like, I need you to cry. I'm not gonna cry. Puss like slams on his foot.
No, he said, I need you to cry. Don't project your problems on me.
Oh, that's a very good
Don't
line.
project your problems on
Oh man, this is the old Keeper's place. Let's back away slowly.
Back away so-
Again, great one-liners.
For sure.
I've heard. I mean, I don't want to, if this is what you think, I'm not trying to dismiss your opinion, but I've heard that people have the issue that Donkey in this movie doesn't have the the comedic weight is comedy is just such subjective, but like the emotional weight that he doesn't have, and I don't know if it's just that he's so funny, or if adding Puss to the equation really does add that much to it. But I'm not gonna say it's like more. I think for very different reasons, I think Donkey is about as good as he was in Shrek 1, just exponentially funnier.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that.
He in Shrek 1, like his role was specifically in in a way he was trying to fix Shrek.
Yeah.
Because especially like with that confrontation, Donkey like wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I think Shrek like he may not talk about it much, but he really does appreciate just having like somebody to just talk to about like his worries, and just like dishing out about dishing out about like just how upset he is with the king. Don't feel bad, Shrek. I wonder if everybody who meets you want to kill you. Gee, thanks. Like you know that he meant that well.
Yeah, you know,
Yes.
like it came from like the deepest depths of his heart, and that's what makes it funny.
Yes.
Like when he's being he's being annoying on the road trip because like it's him. Like he's just not a patient person. When
Yes.
he's like popping, he's not doing it to like fight Shrek. Like he's bored.
Yeah, he's doing it just
And
to
he
entertain.
can't be him. He can't not be himself
For
for
5 minutes.
All right. We talked about Donkey. We kind of talked about Shrek.
I think we talked.
And
I
Fiona.
think we talked a lot about
And Fiona.
Shrek, but if we have more to say, by all means,
I want to talk about Puss.
we gotta talk about Puss.
Yeah, let's do it.
Puss
In Boots.
in Boots.
Hmm.
The character that would have 2 spin-offs later.
It took 2 spin-offs like that inspired us to do this. So this cat in particular is why
The
we're
reason-
here today.
The reason why
Yeah,
we're
that
doing
gave us the final push we
Wow.
needed. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes. Thanks, Antonio Banderas.
Oh, he's just so cute. He's
Yes.
like a cute little
Yeah.
baby.
I don't remember actually laughing that much at Push and Boost. I was in hysterics, especially when he was doing like the giant pupils for Shrek.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, me too. I was dying.
I'm just very happy they only did it twice. They didn't overplay it. He did it for Shrek, and he did it for the guards at the end. That's it.
Yeah.
They didn't overplay
That's all I
it.
needed.
It was funny both times.
He's definitely like a capable fighter. He's also like a cat, and he just gets like just picked up.
I think
That's how the fight ends.
I think Wash, you just explained what makes Puss so funny. He's a cat.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the goddamn, there's so many.
I love
I laughed. I really laughed before I was gonna start quoting it. Where it was just like him drinking milk and just slams the. I hate Mondays.
No, my
God.
favorite Puss quote. I mean, we could get into just talk about favorite quotes if we want, but the one that made me laugh the hardest. Shrek had us drink this potion. Where's sexy? Shrek, for you, baby, I can be whatever you want.
Yeah, you wish.
No. My favorite is. How do you feel? Yeah, I don't feel any different. Do I look any different? You still look like an ass to me. That's so. Antonio Banderas is just he fits like a glove.
Fantastic.
Immediately.
Oh yeah.
He
So-
feels like he's always been here.
Yeah, that's
Like, that's how
Mhm.
perfectly he fits into this cast.
that's so important because there's so many second movies or third movies, as we'll get to, where they force characters, and it's just like, why are you here? When I'm not holding this against Shrek 1 at all, but I remember watching it and being like, where's Puss?
Oh wow.
The dynamic was more like it was more about like Shrek, Donkey, Fiona, and like Farquaad just kind of like came on to crash into this. But like this really feels like a great like a great balance. This trio.
We've all seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, so we know about Puss and other things, and I think that's helped us salute the character in some way. Except Gianna, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
So I'm curious about what your thoughts are on him.
Oh, I love him. I think he's such a great addition to this cast of crazy characters. And of course, like I'm a cat person too, so I'm just a little biased in that. Yeah, I feel like he adds something to every scene he is. Like no matter what he says, it's either interesting or it's really funny. Also, like unrelated to character, just one of the notes I had is just that I was distracted at points of how lovely the feather on his hat was animated, the way it like moved in the breeze and stuff. I loved that.
That is one of the few things that I do know about the because I don't have many notes on the behind the scenes sadly, but like the introduction of when they like realized okay we're gonna do Puss in Boots, they were like oh shit we're gonna need to upgrade that fur because the first movie didn't look so good. Like
No.
it's kind
Yeah.
of on Donkey, and like this time they really went ham on the fur and the feather as well, which
Ooh,
very
we get
important.
like upgraded feather action. I need to see it.
Like you can find it on YouTube. There some of the blunders that they had trying to like render out the fur, and like sometimes it'll just like a giant ball,
Oh no.
a giant puff ball that Shrek is like picking up all of a sudden.
Wow.
It's sweet. It's so gorgeous. It's such a gorgeous movie. If we are
Mhm.
talking about the visuals, it really is. They really
Yeah.
like up the ante
Oh, yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
It's so surprising that like how much they got finished within 3 years because they did this. They started this up like pretty like as soon as they were getting out Shrek, it was like okay Shrek 2, and so
Yeah.
like they had to figure out all the characters, all the stories, all the characters, all the locations. Like good God, like the all just like the trying to figure out the look of Far Away. Just how much do we want this to look like Los Angeles? The answer, a lot.
A lot.
Yes.
Like, identical.
Yeah.
Identical to Los
Like
Angeles.
down to the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like literal like there's like one of the visual guys there's like the star like the star map that you would see in like Los Angeles the like out on the side and you see like Rapunzel's castle all covered in hair.
Yeah. Can I list some of the names of the shops in case
Go ahead,
people
yes,
who are
please,
listening
please.
haven't? Okay, so we have Baskin Robin Hood,
Yes.
Epiphany and Company, halt signs instead of stop signs, Versarchery, Saxon Fifth Avenue, the Tower of London Records.
I caught that. Yes.
Yeah, Gap Queen, of course. Banana Kingdom instead of Banana Republic, which I thought was so good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny. And of course, Farbucks. So those are the only ones I could list.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many, but it's like
yeah.
The one I can think of is like the Friar Boys one.
Yeah. You get a whole
Yeah.
ass battle axe with your
Yes.
mule. Like,
we can talk about I'm gonna say visuals later. Now we talk about Fairy Godmother.
I mean, it makes sense. We were just talking about her. Like, such a great villain compared to Farquaad. I'm sorry.
oh yeah, for sure. I agree.
Farquaad has. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. That's like what Farquaad has in comparison to Fairy
Yeah.
Godmother. It's not even that he's funnier. He just has like that joke specifically. But Fairy Godmother, there's so much.
So like the thing with Farquaad is that Farquaad is more like an obstacle of a romance.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the instigator for the whole thing, and the fairy godmother is such a specific character because that's such a great character for what we were talking about happily ever afters. Harold, the Don Cleese, it says you can't just force people to fall in love. And it says, I beg to differ. I do it all the time. Like she is so she's so manipulative, and she's so much into like it's so much into doing this for her twerpy kid, a twerpy man child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man-child is the perfect description of
Oh
Prince
yeah.
Charming.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
If it wasn't funny, it'd be like really unsettling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
great as an actual villain. Like even just like her like putting together a potion. It just feels so like threatening, and just a hint of lost.
and it's just like this giant bleach.
Yeah.
And just a giant. I as a kid, I didn't understand that, and I thought lost was like an actual chemical.
I
Oh,
love that
I mean, it
actually.
is.
so cute.
I thought it was like pouring bleach. It's pouring like
Yeah.
detergent.
But yeah, like she's working all behind the scenes just like she's been playing the long game. She's she's the reason Harold is human.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
uses that to manipulate him to do what she wants. Heck, this isn't confirmed or anything, but it's kind of heavily implied even that Fairy Godmother is the reason why Fiona got cursed in the first place. She's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I thought she was. That was my immediate thought, like
Yeah.
on my first and this watch, that she
It-
was the fairy. Because isn't like I
Yeah,
think they
it's a-
show a drawing of the fairy in the book. I
Yeah.
think in
It's
Shrek
like a
1, and
w-
it looks like her,
they
right?
say it's a witch. I don't,
Oh, okay. They said a witch. Okay.
or like,
that's right. They did say it was.
but all she has to do is just like put on a cloak and like be like, I'm a witch. And
Yeah.
also, she's a little girl. She doesn't remember people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, like I
Um,
mean, it's a plan that makes sense too. You know, when Harold got his happily ever after from her becoming a human, you know, why set your eyes just on that? If the family, the royal family, would entirely pretty much be hers, because it would not be Charming's. We all know that. So it's a plan that even it makes sense in a kingdom with a king and queen. You know, this is actually a plan that, logically speaking, is sound. The
Yeah,
problem is
and-
that an ogre got in her way, which would never happen in any of the fairy tales that they're used to in their fairy tale world, which is so good for Shrek as a series.
Exactly. Because he's so much the anti-fairy tale.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It shouldn't be this way. What's going on here?
I love her song and how it's just like a giant fuck you to
What
Disney.
song?
Well, I was talking about the first one. The other one we'll get to.
Yeah.
But like the first one where it's literally the chorus is Beauty and the Beast furniture.
That was
Yes. Oh
that
my
was
god.
I like the song. It's a good song, but at the same time, it's like, hey guys, fun fact, did you know Jeffrey Katzenberg hates Disney?
Beauty and the Beast didn't win an Oscar.
I already said for Huffley after give Fiona a call right off the bat. Just how like bitingly satirical it is. It was just like it starts as like all pretty and nice, and just immediately she just goes right to the point. You'll land the prince with a ton of cash.
And then it just gets faster and faster. And my favorite part, I didn't notice this until I listened to like the cast recording version of the song, is that when Fiona's like, thank you, but I really don't need this, everyone's shocked, and then you just hear one of the furniture people go, fine, be that way.
Yes! Yes, the furniture just gets really sassy.
They do.
I didn't like you anyway.
Wait, am I the only one who felt really bad for that puppy the whole movie?
Yeah!
Yes!
I was like, who is taking care of this adorable little creature?
There's just like she has like that puppy had like nothing to. It was everybody's problem. Like
Mhm.
like Shrek lands on top of the puppy,
Yeah.
and Fiona just kind of like smokes at it.
And you don't see the puppy in the sequel, so they're dead.
Oh, no, don't say that!
No, but like the very next scene, like the puppy shows up again. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
shut
alright,
up,
never
No,
mind.
yeah, the
Randall.
puppy does show up, but
Yeah.
they just never bring the puppy back. I don't remember.
The puppy went off to bigger and better places.
Yes,
Yeah. We'll call it like that.
they went to become a puppy VTuber. That's what happened.
One of my early memories with Shrek 2 was like this. This is probably like they put it all the time in the trailer, was like Shrek like screaming at the puppy, and the puppy just like cowers and covers his eye.
That makes me so
No.
sad.
Puppy. What'd the puppy do?
I don't understand why filmmakers still, to this day, think that any kind of animal cruelty is like a joke or it's like funny, and you especially see it with cats. And like even my favorite show does it, and I'm like, why do we gotta do this? It's not funny. It just makes us uncomfortable and sad.
Like, I mean, here at least when Shrek explodes on the puppy, like it's at least like a high tense scene. Like here it isn't played for a joke. It's here that like, you know, Shrek is frustrated, but at the same time, like, you know, puppy didn't do anything. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an association with the fairy godmother so they just kind of hate it on principle. Just come on. You gotta
which
grow
is
up.
sad.
But the fairy godmother is a good villain and manipulating as hell.
I was watching this, and when she was manipulating Shrek, I remembered, I don't know why this came to my mind, but I remember random saying for Toy Story 3 that Lotso was a good twist villain because he was manipulative. And I remember thinking, like, no. And then, like 4 years later now, we're watching Shrek 2, and I'm like, hey, random of 4 years ago, here's a better example. Check me.
Yeah, like, she's not even a twist villain.
Oh, no, she's not. She's not.
Oh, no.
She's outright antagonistic to Shrek from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, it's clear from like the billboard that like there's something up with her.
Yeah.
This is a facade.
And again, Jennifer Saunders?
Yeah.
Does a fantastic job with her voice and in character. Yes. As with playing the character, and of course with the scene.
Before we get there, because I mean I do want to talk about the rest of the soundtrack. Technically we still need to talk about the visuals, but I think if we're gonna talk about one more character, I kinda wanna talk about Harold a little bit, or as Wash knows him, John Cleese.
Yes.
How many references did they fit in about him being a frog?
Oh, as someone who hadn't seen the movie in a long time, like, I picked up on him being the Frog Prince pretty early on.
I guess there's the whole thing about their story of their when they first met. There's the Frog Princess being like, "Do I know you?" And
yeah.
No,
I think even his
somebody else.
Definitive, like great scene for me with him was when he was giving Fiona the love potion, and they had that talk, and she went to grab the one, and he said, "Oh no, you don't want to grab that one. I forgot what he said specifically, but this is the one you need." And you think it's going to be like, oh, he's trying to get her to drink the love potion, but that conversation that they had about, you know, that's like, he's like, oh, you know, people change for other, you know, blah blah blah, and she's like, well, you know, this isn't the person I fell in love with, and that I guess just really resonated with him. So, you know, even though it looked like it was him saying, "Oh, you want the one with the love potion," was actually him saying, "Take the one without the love potion instead."
Yeah,
he has a pained face when Fiona drinks it, and at the time you're thinking like, "Oh, because he's going through with it," but now in hindsight you realize, "Oh, he's betraying the fairy godmother," and he realizes like what that's gonna mean, and
everything he'll lose.
He even puts on an armor in ready for whatever's gonna happen. Like he knows that this is gonna go down, and he's it's just him. King Harold is very clearly like the analog to something like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. You know, it's the extremely prejudiced father, and it just really sucks to watch. It's like how little he's willing to throw a bone. Like he even like fakes like throwing a bone, like just saying like I just want to apologize for my despicable behavior, but like he like in his mind he's like, I'm gonna kill him. Like he's setting up like a hitman.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
And that's when he even says, you know, when he says, meet me here, meet me at the archery range or whatever, and Shrek doesn't know, and he says, do it for Fiona.
Yeah, I know it would mean the world for Fiona.
It would mean the world. Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to, and in a way, like he's part of his character that he's also doing this for Fiona. Like but for him, like the fairy tale ending that he had planned, that his happily ever after was the happily ever after for poor Queen Lillian, who just wants so badly for the family to get back together.
That's so long since the families had dinner together.
She doesn't want Fiona to be driven away again. Like, she doesn't want to lose her daughter, and it's so sad. I don't know if she's like fully accepting, but like she's it's like to her it's like if Fiona likes him, then why can't I? It's like and like King Harold is just like stuck in the past. He's stuck in like you're not the guy.
Although to be fair, he does eventually see like, oh shit, he's forcing my daughter.
When he's seeing like just how
far the fairy godmother is willing to go to truly manipulate things to her. He's like, no, I won't do it, and it's only because she manipulates him to guilt him to like taking away his happily ever after. He's like, but even then, that's not enough to like stop him from changing things, and that's good. He and then he croaks.
Oh my! We haven't even talked about like. I thought we were done with the kitten. No, we haven't talked about Gingy. We haven't talked about Pinocchio. The mice.
We're not gonna have time.
We don't have time. We frankly don't.
Those are like fun like side characters.
Yeah, but they're so fun.
But we're talking about people that like drive the emotional core.
Oh yeah, we're pretty much done.
Here's the guy that we haven't talked about, Prince Simon.
He's a man child.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up that we haven't talked about it, but I mean, he is very important. But Prince Charming himself is, I don't know. He's fun in his role. He just the fairy godmother does so much more. So Prince Charming is just the man child, and that's funny. But he doesn't really have much of a core to him, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with it. It's just different from everybody else.
Yeah, he needs his mom. He does. As a character, and that's literally part of the character where he doesn't really work on his own, which will become more apparent in a future Shrek film. But but yeah, he's literally he's more of like he's a figurehead and epitome the opposite of Shrek, and like where he relies on his looks to get everything that he wants.
He's the logical conclusion of getting back to God, I hate Disney. The logical conclusion of the Prince Charming character, of the prince that rescues the princess, but just like so vapid, so self-centered, egotistical, and just so like having so much bravado and like backing it up with nothing.
Yeah. Like, I love how he just like, I will smite him where he stands, blah, 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 blah. He will rue the day he stole his kingdom from me, and then
done.
I'll put it away, Junior. You're still gonna be king.
Yeah.
One thing about Charming, which isn't like a character comment, but I think that his the way his character design, I think that his facial structure was too similar to Lord Farquaad's, and I couldn't get it out of my head the whole time I was watching. I'm like, they could have made him look just a little bit different, like even a slightly different jawline.
I agree.
Shrek theory: is Lord Farquaad secretly Prince Charming's father?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like, are they the same person?
Lord Farquaad and the fairy godmother got together to.
I don't like the idea of thinking him getting with anybody.
Yeah, honestly.
I know. I just thought of like the most stupid theory I could think
that
of.
Would be hilarious.
It's fun. I love it. I do love it. I just hate it.
Imagine if Prince Charming was like, some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. That's what happened if he would become king.
Anyways, you know who else became king? Not the timer, because I'm doing a podcast rarity. We're extending the timer.
Gee, what a shock.
We can talk about the songs. That's fine. We can talk about the songs a little bit. We have to talk about the climax.
I said I feel like the timer gets extended a lot when I'm on, and I'm really honored about that.
You're here for all the good ones.
Yeah.
I feel like you said, we are a good luck charm.
Us to make the timer shorter.
But yes, all the songs are great. we kind of were referencing in how good they were just by quoting them and how wonderful they like fit the scenes of the soundtrack. But
Yeah.
each soundtrack is like perfectly crafted to fit each scene. Accidentally in Love works fantastic.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Funky Town and
so much.
Funky Town and
It's less
Poison.
iconic, but I kind of like it more in here than somebody once told me. Honestly,
Yeah, like again, it Smash All-Star fits Shrek 1 to a T.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
of
Oh,
course.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Accidentally Love fits Shrek 2. Like
Yeah.
it's a great song that symbolizes the happiness of Shrek and Fiona.
Yeah. I'd probably
Um,
say this is my second favorite song in the soundtrack.
Yeah, because I mean, they certainly did fall in love by accident. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I already love the honeymoon sequence so much, and like the song is just like it's iconic. It's so perfect. For the film is just like top to bottom with like so many. If we were talking about Funky Town, like I didn't notice that like because it's obviously it's just like it's Funky Town, but then as the song is like going down, like it actually fades in perfectly with like the score. Like the score actually like builds up to like the castle, and it just feels like it's always been there. It's just so smart. That's good stuff.
I love how Little Drop of Poison is like great like background song for the Poison Apple. It like feels perfect.
Perfect.
Like it was the song was written for that scene specifically.
Yeah.
And I also love how Captain Hook is singing the songs.
Or also, like, him playing the piano is low-key inspiring. Like, you know?
Honestly, yeah.
It's weird to think Disney wound up ripping off from DreamWorks with the whole person with a hook wanting to be a pianist.
All right, just because the timer's up, I'm going to move this along a little bit. Were there any songs other than the obvious one that you wanted to bring up, Gianna?
No, I just have a comment. I have a stickler comment about the obvious one.
Okay, all right. Then let's, while also talking about the climax, Holding Out for a Hero.
Holy shit!
We love it. We love the song. However, I will say, she's like, play it in C minor. and I'm over here like, bitch, it is an A minor, and it is already too high for anybody to sing.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, C minor? And I meant to, before we came on, see what key it actually was in, and I didn't check.
Oh,
Maybe before
like,
this comes out, I can do that for you, so you can at least post about it.
I think it's like D major or something.
She does it in D?
I don't know.
But that would be higher. I felt
hold
like
on.
she did it either in the original key or lower, potentially. It could be like G flat. You know, I gotta know. I need to know.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even think I could look that up. Like,
I'll figure it out by ear.
oh, okay.
I could.
Hold
yeah.
on, Reddit will tell me.
Oh, that's true. Someone probably already did it.
Yeah, probably.
Either way, it's a damn good song.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great performance.
I love how it starts out like slow and like romantic, like it's a song that they're singing, and then you get a close up to her. She just goes, hit it, and then it just
When I was a
bumps
little
up.
kid, that was like one of my worst jump scares. Was when that happens, it's like, oh god damn it! When she did that, and she like had those crazy eyes looking straight at me. It's like fuck. Get out of here, kid.
And again, we have this whole thing where we see Mongo as the giant gingerbread man, and they're trying to infiltrate the castle. While this song is going on, it's just this like huge action scene with like milk, thrown catapults, milk,
More
the
heat,
gum
foam.
the callback to the gumdrop button that ends in a Godzilla yell.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible.
Gumdrop button.
Well, it's also great that she's singing this, and Shrek is being that hero
Yes.
for Fiona.
I love that. I was gonna bring that. Everything gotta be strong, gotta be larger than life. Like that is so
larger than
Shrek.
life. Yeah.
Sometimes they're like movies where like something like just like doesn't work out well in the editing, and they just kind of have to like fit in a music like the Mario movie. But you could tell that this was storyboarded specifically for Holding Out for a Hero.
Yeah,
It's like how well like the pauses in the music fit perfectly with the action on screen. Like it everything just feels like it's like it feels like she's driving the action.
Yeah, it was very carefully thought out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's
like,
also funny.
some of the big emotional swells when like Mongo is like getting like he loses his arms and is getting like sent backwards into the moat, just and then like he's sinking down to be
Good.
He needs me. He needs me. Let me go.
Oh, it's just so great. And then
Go.
it's
Your
just-
lady needs you. Go. Today I repay my debt.
And then it calls back. There's so many like great callbacks,
Yeah.
even to Shrek 2 and Shrek
And Shrek
1.
1?
Too. And then it leads to like the song ends, unfortunately, but it ends to like Shrek getting in there and like and Fiona recognizes him immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I loved that detail. Shrek?
Especially like his introduction, like compared to Prince Simon just being like, but muffin cake, and like Shrek is immediately like, you back away from my wife, like that's Shrek.
Yeah.
That's Shrek. And then there's like this whole scene where they're trying to get the wand. Pinocchio turns into a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
Oh,
No,
So, I-
Point 2
dancing on the
seconds.
stage. He's just like, I'm a real boy. Oh.
It was the most short-lived transformation. I was dying.
I could not help but think it's because he was dancing, I know. But when he was saying, I'm a real boy, he's doing the dance, all I could think of was, big deal, I've been a real boy the whole time.
you won't get that, Gianna.
Yeah, sorry, Gianna,
You'll,
sorry.
maybe
We'll get there.
you'll get there, maybe.
Oh boy. Oh, real boy, even. Sorry.
If we are talking about like Pinocchio, then Jesus Christ, the Mission Impossible sequence.
Say you're
Oh,
wearing
that
ladies'
was
underwear.
incredible.
I'm wearing ladies' underwear.
Are you? I most certainly am not.
Oh.
Most certainly are.
I'm not. It's a thong.
They're briefs.
Oh my god.
Mummy happens. She gets her wand. King
I'm
Harold.
still thinking about this. Thinking about Shrek that's going, are you?
That makes sense. Honestly, we're all just like, there's so many good jokes.
So many
in
good
this
jokes.
film.
Yeah.
Climax.
Climax. Fairy Godmother strikes a Shrek. Harold reflects. Fairy Godmother turns into the bubbles for Finding Nemo, and we learn that like King Harold is a froge. He's a froge,
He croaked.
and he croaked. And then the sweet moment that Gianna mentioned in the synopsis is it happens, and she falls in love with the ogre she married. They have a great transformation that is like in the movie, but that kind of takes a backseat to Donkey's transformation back to a donkey.
Yeah.
Where he's like, no. But it's okay because Shrek goes, you're still a noble steed to me.
I like that donkey's reaction, and that was just a smile. There was no funny one-liner for that.
Yeah.
I like that. Although, if we're going to talk about funny one-liners, I must not cry. I told myself that I wouldn't cry.
I started crying.
Yeah, kinda.
But like that, when like Fiona just says like with the ogre I married, it's just like, oh my god. Just,
Especially
Yeah.
after when Shrek is explaining the situation to her and she says, you do all that for me. Like, you're
Yeah.
doing this much for me. I mean, not so much like the least that I could do, but like, you're doing all this for me. Well, here's what I want.
it calls back to like what Fiona says, like when they have like that big fight, like Shrek yells at the puppy and says that's not about to change, like because I am an ogre and that's not about to change. And Fiona like right before she steps out, she says, "I've made changes for you, Shrek. Think about it."
Mm.
And like this whole thing was about him trying to prove that he can change, change for Fiona, and that's enough. That's enough for her. Like she still loves him,
Yeah.
like the old Shrek. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, and that's again Shrek teaching us to love ourselves for who we
Yeah.
are and not to change for people, I just love that they brought that back around. It's like after all of that, all that Shrek went through to try and like be more handsome or more acceptable. Like, at the end of the day, she just loved him for him, and like that's the kind of person that you should be with. Again, they are goals.
They are goals.
Yeah.
They are, and I really, again, to give Shrek 1 all the credit in the world because it's still really good. I mean, it's the same ultimate message, but Shrek 1 is more about how you perceive other people and how they perceive you, like how that can line up, and you don't need the looks for that. This movie is more about what other people are thinking, what other people are telling you. That's not what's important. I really like the way that both these movies tackled it so differently and how it feels so differently, so that even though it's the same message, both of them just do it in such a unique way that they both stand on their own perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so good.
We're all crying.
I was gonna save this for the final thought, but I'll just say it now. I appreciated this movie more now, which made me appreciate the first movie more, which makes me appreciate this movie more.
Yes.
If we're gonna try to wrap up with the climax, this is just like a small thing, but God, the fairy godmother's death.
Bubbles.
Jesus Christ! She gets, it's like cut off, like she's just like ha, and then just.
Yeah, like,
Terrifying.
there's like some frames of her dematerializing too,
Yeah.
which is like cool animation wise, but like really twisted. Better or worse than getting eaten by the dragon? Which would you think is more brutal?
The dragon.
I agree.
Really?
I don't because it's not as instantaneous, you know?
You know what it is for me, and this wasn't even in the movie, it was in one of those bonus things, but it's the one of it's when you see Farquaad with the torch walking around in the dragon's stomach.
Staying alive.
Yeah, like, okay, like the song, whatever, but the fact that like he's in there
Yeah,
and he's just like in there, that's what it is for me.
right. Like, he will be digested. That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Uh-huh.
Oh
But
god.
she's like got an instantaneous death.
Yeah.
You know, like she didn't even realize it was happening.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And she's like ready to attack again, and it's just
Yeah.
instantly disintegrated, and it's just quiet. That's the other thing, is that it's like the dragon is roaring, and there's a triumphant music as she's eating the Farquaad, but this one is just like silent,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just kind of like, oh my god, that's it. One of the greatest villains is just poof,
Just
gone.
Oof.
This was like, you know, like when
Wash,
you watch,
if you
like,
have
a
anything
bad-
else, I'm sorry, but we've been going for almost like well over an hour and a half. You gotta do final thought. This
Okay,
can't go
fine.
on. This
I'll
can't
just
go
do
on.
my final thought. Haha.
Okay, all right.
right.
If you're gonna
Final
be smart, if you're gonna be smart with me, then go for it.
You know when you watch like a bad movie and just having a hard time going through, and like this, like a 90-minute movie just feels like it's just taking like 2 hours for you to finish. I had the same experience, but it was partly because I was laughing so much. I was trying so hard to finish this movie like before midnight, but I just kept pausing the movie and just guffawing.
Oh,
Just goddamn, so many jokes in this movie. That's just like just one after another after another. It's definitely like you should watch this like multiple times, because there's just so many things that you're not gonna catch your first time, your second time, your third time. It's just really fucking funny. It's also just a really great script. I just really enjoy this story. Like it feels like it really feels like so many of the elements are driving the story forward. Like so many of the characters, so many of like the actions. It's the we I think we like referenced it like really quickly, but just like the Shrek coming into the fairy godmother's factory, and like his immediate plan is, we're from the Union. Like he just
Yeah.
like it's obviously it's funny as fuck, but it's just fits so well, like his craftiness, that he's just so good at improvising.
Yeah.
And just like right off the bat, like his plan is
I love how Donkey is like one step away from ruining it too.
no,
Trying to be like, shut up.
like that's the thing is that like it becomes the perfect cover because it's like, hey, just so you know, it's like it probably would be best if the fairy godmother doesn't know that we're here, huh?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
perfect,
Stop it.
perfect. That's such a perfect setup. That's such a perfect way to enter the situation for such a great like satirical bit about how cruel the fairy godmother is. And it's just so fucking funny. Everyone's great. Instantly in love with Puss in Boots, who I feel like we barely talked about today. But definitely like he's gonna soar even more in later films. Um I just love this movie. It's
Yeah.
it feels like old times. Just watching this, like God, just going back to 2004 and just like all those good ass movies, and this one included.
How do you feel about Shrek 2 compared to Prince of Egypt?
This is better. I think this is just far more solid. It definitely helps that like this is like a straight up comedy that like the tone just fits so much better. But like it also super helped that this is a comedy that has its sweet moments that has so much just a great emotional core to it. Prince of Egypt is just like it's a fantastic telling. That's how I kind of compare the two. Like the Prince of Egypt is a fantastic telling of Exodus. This is just its own great story, which is weird considering it's a sequel, but it really is like just a great version of these characters and this setting. It's obviously Jeffrey Katzenberg hates Disney, but it feels like this is like a direct part of the story. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna have their own happily ever after. It's that's sweet, and I can't wait to see how Shrek the Third handles all this.
And
We'll
fucked
get
it
there.
all up.
Yeah.
My first thought, or my first final thought, I think that Shrek 2 is like a masterclass in how you do an effective and successful sequel.
Yeah.
Especially when like the first film is so iconic. They didn't even like stumble. They added even more depth and character and whimsy to this world that they created, and they kept up with the badass soundtrack. You know, Puss in Boots is like the potential is so much, and I don't even know where it goes. I've heard it goes to great places, but like just to see its beginning, and like I just want to see so much more of him. I'm glad that they like went into that. They like fully sailed that ship to see where that would go. Yeah. I don't know what more to say. I really do enjoy Shrek 2. I do agree also with what Wash was saying, especially because as we were talking about it, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that joke. That was so funny. You know, you have to go back and you have to watch it multiple times so that you can catch all these little things. Like, I want to see if there are more storefronts that I missed in Far, Far Away, you know?
Yeah. I'm not saying like you did a bad job or anything. I'm just saying like it's this kind of movie. You missed at least one.
Yeah. Well, there was one that I remember I had the movie pause and it was so blurry in the background. I'm like, I can't make it out, but it says something good. I just know it. I couldn't find it.
This is why Blu-rays exist.
I was gonna say like this is definitely something to get on Blu-ray so you can catch all those like tiny details.
Yeah. I had to rent it on YouTube, by the way. That's how I watched it.
That's okay. We won't tell.
Well, I told
people that she watched it legally.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just messing around.
That I didn't watch it in high enough quality. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know how much Shrek 1 means to you. So again, just out of curiosity. I mean, better or worse, sure, if you want to go into that, but how does it compare to Shrek 1?
I definitely don't want to use better or worse because I think that they both stand on their own so well.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think I don't know if it's just nostalgia glasses or it just being like the first one, but I do think I'm a little more attached to Shrek 1. And this is also coming from someone who was like really down for the misunderstanding. So I understand if we don't all see on the same page for that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I really like this film. I really, really did. It is hilarious. I enjoyed it. I like it better than Shrek 1. I think that like you said, it really is a perfect sequel. It expands upon the Shrek universe. It tells a wonderful story. There's jokes like a mile per minute. The music is phenomenal. It truly is. It's probably one of the best DreamWorks films ever made. Again, we could talk so much about it for hours and hours. If we did an extended cut of this episode, we could go on for 4 hours. Please no, though, because we don't have time.
Yeah.
We're all tired.
Yes, we're all tired. We need some sleep.
Oh my god.
And I really, really enjoyed this one. I had a feeling I was going to like. This is one of those movies that just it is really is so iconic with DreamWorks and Shrek. Like Shrek 1 is iconic, of course, but I feel like it just built upon it. It created a character that will get two of its own movies. It solidified the impact Shrek has made in general, and it's just a great and wonderful film. And it's and I could say more about it, but right now it not only is funny, but it has a fantastic story and great characters. To answer your question, whether you're probably going to ask,
you know it's coming.
What's better, this or Prince of Egypt? I don't know yet. It's like, because on one hand, Shrek 2 is fucking amazing, but on the other hand, Prince of Egypt is has some damn good music and is a great musical and is super powerful. So right now I'm going to say no, but barely. And this is like when we do rank these guys, like when the finale happens, I'm gonna watch these two back to back, and just to like
interesting
to see which one I do like better. But right now it could flip flop either way.
Coming into this movie, I had the thought, this might be the best DreamWorks movie out of all of them. I left this movie thinking, this might be the best DreamWorks movie out of all of them. Like, I mean, I asked the question, Shrek 2, Shrek 1 for Gianna, Shrek 2, Prince of Egypt for Random and Watch. Full well knowing that everybody knew my answer of not even close, Shrek 2.
Yeah.
I love Prince of Egypt. Wonderful movie. It's like, not even the ballpark. Like, I mean, the fact that there is not only one, but two songs that I straight up think are just better than somebody once told me, of all things, like one of the best for Shrek 1, like Accidentally in Love, better here, I Need a Hero, best song in film. The climax of this movie, absolutely like peak cinema. Just the whole I Need a Hero thing. This is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. The characters are expanded on, the heart and the emotional attachments of this movie are so high. There's high stakes. It isn't perfect, but you ever watch a movie and you're like, that's perfect, and you think about it, you know it's not perfect, but it's a perfect movie. This is one of this and like Tokyo Godfathers and The Incredibles. Like those are the only other two movies I can really think of that are like in this quality. And when I finished watching it, I was like, I think I still slightly prefer Tokyo Godfathers, so I went and watched Tokyo Godfathers, because why not? And still, perfect movie. Not perfect, but perfect. I think I barely still prefer Tokyo Godfathers to Shrek 2. That could also flip-flop. I should watch Shrek 2 again, and then Tokyo Godfathers, because why not?
On a side note, Gianna, watch Tokyo Godfathers.
Watch Tokyo Godfathers. Watch Tokyo. Even if we do just like a movie night together where we watch Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh, I'd totally be down. Can I throw out my perfect movie really quick?
Yeah,
yeah, sure. Go for it.
My favorite movie, my perfect movie, is Stardust. It came out in 2007.
Oh,
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm looking it up real quick before I finish my rant.
Fantasy fairy tale elements, but that's all I gotta say. Go ahead. It's beautiful and perfect.
I see the poster and I'm like, ooh.
Okay, all right. I swear I'll get back to my ramble in a second, but I looked up Stardust. Related questions. Why is Stardust so good?
Yes.
So good. It's my favorite movie ever. It has everything. It has, the faraway, like, hidden world. it has such a beautiful romance story.
Well, that settles
Like-
the Stardust one off.
Oh, please.
Oh, honestly.
Please, I would totally be here for that. Although I'm afraid you guys are also like such good film critics, and I'm afraid that you're going to point out things I didn't know that were wrong with the movie.
Look, Gianna, I laughed at a joke where Donkey said we're sexy, and she turned around and Puss was licking his puss. So
Yeah.
don't think too hard about it. It's fine.
Anyways, Claire.
Yeah, there are 2 movies in DreamWorks catalog that might be better, and if we take personal, like just complete personal bias into account, there's 2 other movies that might be up there as well, but I don't think they're going to be as high. They're great movies, I think, but not this high. But just overall, there's 2. One of them is coming up not too far in the future, and then the other one is like 20 years away. But
Oh, so it's not Shark Tale.
Yeah.
Shark Tale is like. See, the
It's like
thing with Shark
third
Tale
best.
is that it's probably worse than Sinbad, but it's so much worse that it's better than like Shrek 2.
Yes.
So it's like, is it really better than Shrek 2? Is it so much worse that it's better? It's like, yeah. But yeah, no, Shrek 2, just ultimate movie. I love it so much. And one of just those classic examples of when, you think, oh, Disney, Pixar, they're the best around. It's like, no, DreamWorks is here. They've been at it for a while. Jeffrey Katzenberg is not a good person by any stretch of the imagination, but the hardworking, talented people that work at DreamWorks, this is one of those movies that you show and you say, no, DreamWorks is in the same conversation as Disney Pixar. Fantastic. Love it so much.
We did it.
We did.
We
Yes.
did.
Shrek 2.
We watched this movie for the sole reason so that we could watch the next one.
Yep, and it's all downhill from here.
That's right. We made it. We made it through the 8th film, and now
Now, Gianna, you're spared. You don't have to watch
Yeah.
Shark
we
Tale.
watched the best DreamWorks movie of 2004, and now
Oh, you guys have Shark Tale up next?
It's
Yep.
Shark Tale.
Well, I have never seen it, so I don't know what you're about to embark on, but it doesn't sound great.
No. This has been fun.
Yes.
I'm glad, Gianna, you've been here for the Shrek movies.
Me too. Oh, I'm loving it.
Just wait till Shrek the Third. Until then, it's plugging time.
Yay.
First,
Yay.
Gianna was our wonderful guest. Gianna, where can we find you?
So there is a good chance that I have music out now, and you might be able to stream my single Twilight Champagne on Spotify and
Hey!
everywheres. Yeah, I didn't say my name. I'm Gianna Luna. You can follow me at
Hi, Gianna Luna.
Hi.
Hi.
You can follow me at Gianna_Luna_ everywhere. That's Gianna with 1 N. I'm also a co-host on the Shoujo Sunday podcast, where we review shoujo anime bi-weekly. As we're recording this now, we are reviewing Ouran High School Host Club, but when you're listening to this, we are probably reviewing Fruits Basket, which I'm very...
Oh, that's
I
a big
love
one.
it.
That's a
Yeah.
big one.
That's going to be a really good and emotional time. So
Yeah.
if you guys want to check that out,
Okay,
we're
okay, two
Shoujo
seconds.
Sunday.
We won't sidetrack too hard, but which version of Fruit Basket? The manga, the first anime, the recent one, all of them.
we're doing the reboot
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
But preference, the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I totally get that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Wash, you know what to do.
Oh yeah.
If you're holding out for a hero, then you can check us out at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WRK podcast. Post a comment there, subscribe to us, and you can also listen to us in audio form at WRK.simplecast.com or wherever else you may get your podcast. And if you want to get updates, then maybe with our newly verified Twitter account.
Wait, what?
This
Wait,
is a topical joke.
Oh, okay. I thought
It
you
might
actually
not be
paid money.
topical and well, probably
It might not be.
Oh my
It might be. Yeah, that's true. Twitter might be deleted by that point. But
Yeah.
in
Imploded.
case,
You were not verified.
I thought you actually paid the money, and
I was
I
worried
do.
that you did too.
guess what, fellas? I paid $11 to get verified.
Gotta help us in the algorithm, you know.
Yes.
I paid $1,000 to get the yellow check mark. But you can find that yellow check mark at WRK Podcast. We'll let you know when the next episode comes out. And that's all of our plugs.
This has been a fun episode, guys.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I love Shrek 2 so much.
Yes, we all do. And I hope you accidentally fall in love with this episode and this podcast. Until then, I'm Random Bystander here.
I'm washing boots.
I am Claire.
I'm Princess Gianna.
Oh,
wow, that works so well.
I genuinely like earlier, when Claire said Gianna, I thought she called you Fiona.
Gianna! Oh, they can't hear you.
Oh no, that's a reference to something that's not in this edit.
Oh, wait, what?
When they disconnected.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think, I just thought he was making it funny.
I was referencing the fairy godmother dialogue, but okay.
Yeah, okay.
Let the fan art of Princess Gianna commence. Good night, everybody.
Good
night.
I love it. Good night.